We stand on the shoulders of giants. The past creates the opportunities we claim.
George throws. End zone. Touchdown. Stephen Williams.
It's a good defensive play by number 3, Zurrer.
We will continue the legacies from the past. What Illinois has been. What it means to represent the Fighting Illini. Welcome to the Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame.
Now coming to the stage is tonight's MC, a best-selling author, TV host, and sports broadcaster. She's a former world champion hurdler, a 10-time All-American, and a national champion for the Illini track team. A member of the 2017 Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame class, please welcome Perdita Felicien.
Hello, good evening. How are you? You're good? Are you really good though? Yeah? They fed you, so you're really good. I know you are. I know you are. I was just saying backstage, I have goosebumps, I have butterflies, like it's race day. But it's not race day. I've been retired for a good decade now as a 100-meter hurdler. It is my pleasure as an alumni of this university to stand here before you. So I was recruited in 1999, that was a good year, by Coach Gary Winkler. And I remember getting in that little plane and flying above Champaign, and I'm like, it's awfully flat. I am not coming here. But I did. I changed my mind. And I'm glad I did. And I'll tell you, that young woman from Pickering, Ontario, Canada, would be pinching herself that she's here right now, able to be in your presence and to welcome so many greats into the Hall of Fame tonight. Can we hear it for our inductees tonight? Yes! The night is all about you. You get to show off, okay? And I know your family is going to be like, you used to do all of that. Yes. Yes, I did. All right? So this is, for me, one of those times where I have been looking back on so many moments that I accomplished here. And I knew that it wouldn't be possible without a tremendous family. And we are all a part of a family. And I have, a little embarrassed to say this, but it's been 4+ years since I've been back on campus. Too long, I'll be honest, too long. And looking around at all the orange and blue and everything that's here, I'm like, this is family. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, where it takes you. It could be Canada, it could be Denver, it could be Sweden, it could be Europe, wherever. We are a family, and we're gonna celebrate tonight, aren't we? We're gonna celebrate. Before we dive in, this is a very special year. It's a very special milestone for girls and women in sport. I'm gonna tell you quickly about the significance of this year, but I'm going to tell it quickly through my experience. So my mother grew up in a tiny island of St. Lucia. If you've never been there vacation, you should go. It's pretty. Some people have gone? Yes. Castries, Gros-Islet. Yes. But my mother grew up there, and she came to Canada when she was a young girl. But my mother had to drop out of school by the time she was 11 and 12, and she had to work. That was her job. There was no sport, no physical activity. This is in the 60s and 70s. And she got here because she met a wealthy white couple from Canada. They talked on the beach where she was selling her trinkets, and they brought her to Canada. That began my mother's adventure, and it was a hard one with me in tow. But I found sport. I found my way, and she had no idea what sport was. And I remember trying out for the track team when I was 9, and I burst through the door, and I'm like, Mom, I tried out for the track team, I made it, I need you to sign the permission slip. She had no clue what I was talking about. But that began an adventure for me. So when Gary Winkler recruited me here, I didn't even know what it meant to have a full ride scholarship. I knew nothing about that. And in fact, when we got the letter, I believe Ron Guenther was the AD at the time who, gave you the official offer, and it told you the cost of the scholarship. This is how foreign it was to my mother as a woman. She saw the number, I don't know what it was, maybe $27,000 for tuition. Ha, imagine that in 2022. But my mom thought it was what she would have to pay. She thought we couldn't afford it. No one in the lineage of my family had ever gone to university, let alone play sport, organized sport, or had aspirations of Olympics or national or conference titles. No, foreign language. But my mother understood that if I can get you there and you can accept this, your life will change. So the significance of this year is the half-century anniversary of Title IX. Absolutely. And many of you in this room, what you have accomplished, I'm one of them, would have not been possible without Title IX. My athletic career here, my professional career here, wouldn't have happened. But there are inductees tonight who had success before that law was signed in 1972. A law that said, regardless of gender, that you will have equal access and equal opportunity for young girls and young women. Before that, could you imagine this? All these NCAA championships for women, the NCAA didn't have that. It didn't exist. A paid degree for a woman did not exist. In fact, 2% of collegiate budgets, that's what went into women's sports. 2%. $10, what is that? Who knows? Insignificant. So there are those in our class tonight that achieve success internationally and understand what it means to live and thrive and try before access and resources. And there are those of us like me who can't even fathom that there was ever such a thing, but there was. Okay, are we ready to get started? Welcome, thank you for being here. I'm so excited for our inductees. Quickly though, you should have a program in your hands or in your possession. If you don't, you can get one from me. I charge 99 cents. I take cash. Just kidding, they're free. But if you don't have one, it will help you throughout the evening, it will help guide you. You can get them at the entrance, I believe, or, yeah, at the entrance. And there's also commemorative posters, right? So get our Hall of Famers to sign them for you. That's pretty cool, I think. So make sure you have that. It will really, really help tonight go smoother. Okay, to officially kick things off, it is really my pleasure to introduce this individual. He is the 14th athletic director at the University of Illinois. This man has great vision, tremendous leadership, and his DNA, frankly, is all over this university. There's so many things that he's put into place that I'm like, wow, look at this vision that he has. I'll say this, he has a passion for alumni, a passion for anyone that has come through these halls, because he's been here himself. So it is my pleasure to welcome Josh Whitman.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. This is yet another opportunity for us to gather and celebrate the great tradition of Fighting Illini athletics, and needless to say, this is absolutely one of my favorite evenings of the entire calendar year, one that I circle each year in bright orange. And it's a great opportunity for us to gather and reflect back on what has made us so great over these many years, and to honor and celebrate the people who have come through this place, wore this uniform, and advanced the great reputation and tradition of the Fighting Illini. Before I get too far into my comments this evening, I want to thank Perdita. She is somebody who just shines in every room that she walks into. I hadn't known her prior to her induction as a member of our inaugural class back in 2017. I know you heard it during her introduction, but needless to say, her accomplishments are remarkable. A three-time NCAA champion. She was a two-time NCAA track athlete of the year. She was a 10-time All-American, a two-time world champion, a two-time Olympian. And she's here with us this evening, helping to welcome in the newest members of our Hall of Fame class. So let's give another big round of applause to Perdita Felicien. I also want to take a moment and just follow up on some of the comments that Perdita made relative to Title IX. It has been an ongoing celebration here on our campus and around our athletic program. So proud of the advancements that we have made relative to opportunity and access for women in sport. Here we stand 50 years after that law was signed, and to know the progress we have made, but to be emboldened by that progress and know that we have much more work to do is something that excites me, energizes me, and to know the difference that it's making in the lives and experiences of our female student athletes today on our campus, and to know the opportunities it will create for the future student athletes. As the dad of a young girl who turned 6 yesterday, I couldn't be more excited about the future of women's athletics, not just across the country, but in particular here at the University of Illinois. And I know that you will see Title IX celebrated in many of the people who will stand behind this microphone this evening, sharing their experiences, their memories, their reflections. And we're so grateful to so many of them for opening the door so wide for the people who have come after. As you would imagine, tonight is the culmination of many months of planning. There are a lot of people in the Illinois athletics program who work behind the scenes to make this experience possible, to make it so meaningful, memorable for our honorees, for all of you. I just want to take a moment and thank all of them. You heard from Marty Kaufman a minute ago. Marty and Kent Brown really lead this Hall of Fame effort for us. Kevin Mitchell is now the director of our Varsity I, our former letter winners organization. Chris Tuttle also works a lot on this event and filled that role for many, many years, as many of you know. Daryl Miles and our video staff. I saw Daryl over at the office earlier today. I said, nothing like an event where you have to put 20 videos together, and he kind of chuckled. So this is a little bit like his Super Bowl. Bobby Busboom, Kylie Burton, and so many others across the street in the BFL building work so hard to make this event very special for everybody involved. I want to give a special shout out to our State Farm Center staff. I know a lot of you have the opportunity to come here and be a part of some of our other events, whether it be a men's basketball, women's basketball. We recently moved our wrestling home events into this building. But just the scope and scale of things that we're able to do here, so grateful to them for the work that they put in and continuing to create an incredible environment for everything that we throw at them. And speaking of State Farm, I want to recognize State Farm Insurance, which is a corporate partner of this Athletics Hall of Fame. Very grateful to them for being involved with us over the years, and in particular in this event. Also want to give a special welcome. We have a lot of former inductees with us tonight, and that's something that we have really worked hard to try and foster within our Hall of Fame community. This is the 6th Hall of Fame class that we have welcomed here at the University of Illinois. We were the last Big Ten school to create an Athletics Hall of Fame, and it's important to me, and I think to all of us, we want to really build that sense of community. We want them to understand the fraternity, the very elite fraternity that they now have the opportunity to belong to, and that comes through personal connection. And so we really are grateful to everybody who has had the opportunity to stand on this stage in prior years for making the effort to be with us today. And for welcoming their newest colleagues with open arms. In terms of comments, I have the chance today, for example, I met with 2 recruits in my office, one for women's basketball, one for men's basketball, meet with recruits from all of our different sports. One of the things that I talk to them about with great regularity is the long memory of the University of Illinois community, and in particular of the Fighting Illini fan base. I challenge them. I say, if you come here and you do something special, this is a place that will never forget you. And whether it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, this is a place that will always remember the difference that you made on this campus, on this institution, and on this athletics program. And that is embodied in this Hall of Fame experience. It's remarkable to have the opportunity to sit and listen to our honorees, to understand the journey that they traveled to get here, which was not always a straight line, involved a lot of late nights and weekends, a lot of sacrifices, not just from the athletes themselves, but from their family members, their friends. We had a chance today, one of my favorite parts of the Hall of Fame weekend is an honoree-only luncheon that we host this afternoon. It's a chance just for the class members to be together, along with any former inductees who might happen to be able to attend. We give them a chance to get to know one another, to tell their story. And I just enjoy sitting and listening because I understand what makes them tick. I want to understand how they got here. People who strive for excellence in everything that they do. I love to study how they came across the tremendous success that they had here and the things that they've done using that success as a springboard in their lives after they've left. So let's talk just for a minute about this class. Understand these are some of the best of the best. Another thing that I tell recruits when they come on our campus is understand when you sit down in this room and you're surrounded by Illinois student athletes, you are already, by default, one of the best in the world. It's hard to get through that very narrow door to be a student athlete at the University of Illinois. But then to take it the following steps, to have the chance to accomplish what these folks have accomplished is truly, truly remarkable. In this class, we have Olympians. We have NCAA champions. We have Big Ten champions. We have All-Americans. We have first-round draft picks, including Mr. George, the #1 overall draft pick. We have trailblazers, as I mentioned earlier, people who have blown the door open in opportunity for people who have come after them. We have elite coaches, administrators. On a personal note, I want to recognize Ron Guenther. He's a tremendous mentor of mine. I would not be standing here today if not for Ron's leadership, his mentorship. And I know many of us in the room have had a chance to interact with him, and so I want to extend my personal congratulations to Ron and his family. The thing that brings all of them together is that incredibly high bar. The reality is that in competitive athletics, if you want to be one of the best, you have to be prepared to do things that no other people are willing to do. They've done that, and they've done it with incredible humility, with incredible commitment, determination. These are remarkable ambassadors of the University of Illinois. And I'm so proud to know that they continue to represent the orange and blue and wherever their lives have taken them ever since they left this campus in ways that can continue to fill our hearts and minds and bodies with pride because we know they came through this place. We know they left their mark here and that this place had some opportunity to influence the person that they've become. And now it comes full circle, where they're back here to allow us to celebrate them. And so thank you, all of you, for being with us tonight. To all of our honorees, we're so humbled that you chose to grace this campus with your remarkable determination, your skill, your leadership. Congratulations on this incredible accomplishment. Welcome to one of the most elite fraternities you'll ever have an opportunity to be a part of. And we're incredibly excited to celebrate all of you this evening. Thanks again. Congratulations. Let's have a fun evening.
That's my favorite word in the dictionary, fun. Things should be fun. So this is not on the script, but as a host, MC, someone who works in TV, you're allowed to go off the script every now and then. There's no producer here, is there? I always feel like your producer's in your ear. But there is a new track and field coach hire, a new director of track and field. And that is something I said to Josh when I saw him this week. That is the kind of coach you go after when you want to win again in track and field. Yes. Oh, my track people, is that where you are? Okay, I know you got me then. I'm good tonight. But Coach Petros, I went, because I'm a nosy Rosie, and I just knocked on his door of that brand new shiny pavilion. It's gorgeous. And I just knocked, just wanted to see what he was about. Had caught him on a Zoom meet and greet the night before, and I really loved what he had to say. And it is the kind of personality that we need in track and field, someone who wants to win. And this is what he said. I'm going to get back on track, don't worry. He said, I want to make the University of Illinois for track and field a sexy destination. Yes, I love that for us, okay? Yes. because what's happened with track and field is we live in our past. No more living in our past. He wants to win, so I just wanted to say that. Good job. Good job. Give him whatever he wants. Whatever he wants, give it to him so he can win. But I know he can get it done. Okay. One of the best parts of this evening is the fact that we get to personally hear from our inductees. And for the inductees that aren't here, we get to hear from their families. We get to understand what this evening means to them. So let me let you in on this special part too, because you know, I got inducted a few moons ago. You get a statue, a very, very heavy statue. Did they tell you it was heavy? Did anyone warn you? They didn't warn you? Oh, get ready. It weighs what, 100 pounds, Josh? Maybe? Okay, maybe not that. 105 pounds. It is very heavy. Be ready when Josh hands it to you. The neat thing, yeah, I do, you know, it's in my office now. I do, is this a bicep? I was a kines major, bicep. So it is a wonderful trophy. It was designed by George Lundeen. He is a U of I graduate. And I know some of you are like, wait, where do I know that name before? The Red Grange statue, Memorial Stadium, he designed that. The Dick Butkus statue, he designed that as well. And to me, what is so wonderful is you have an alum designing this for other alums. And because it's heavy, I'm like, they had a budget for materials because they spared no expense to give you this very beautiful work of art. So cherish it. All right, buckle up because we're about to start. This is my favorite part of the evening, hearing from Illini greats themselves, one at a time. So let's begin. Illinois women's basketball has had some shining stars over the years, including our first honoree who averaged more than 20 points a game in their junior, right? And senior seasons. That's smoking. I can't even do a layup. Let's watch the video board as we introduce Jonelle Polk McCloud.
Jonelle Polk McCloud, basketball. Jonelle Polk was named All Big Ten 3 times, including twice to the first team during her career from 1984 to 1987. She finished her Illini career with a school record 1,984 points, which stood for 11 seasons and still ranks 3rd. She averaged more than 20 points per game as a junior and senior. Polk also set the career rebounding mark that stood for 17 seasons. She still has the 3rd most double-doubles with 40 during her career and was Illinois' 1987 Big Ten Medal of Honor winner.
Good evening. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here. When I first heard that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I was on a Big Ten Advisory Commission call with Josh, and as I was getting ready to give my presentation, he said, "Congratulations, we're inducting you into the class of 2022 Hall of Fame." I was so excited, I started to tear up, and I could hardly get through the presentation. And then when social media got wind of it, my daughter called me and said, "Mom, have you been on the internet? You're trending right now." When you play basketball, or any sport for that matter, you do it because you love it. To have been able to play it and now be recognized at my alma mater means a lot to me. I just want to quickly take you on a trip down memory lane. As a child, I was bullied, probably because I was an unusually tall, skinny, and gangly. So I used to shy away from a lot of things. Having noticed this, my parents enrolled me in a variety of activities, and I'm sure they thought it would improve my self-esteem, such as judo, gymnastics, piano, swimming, and most importantly, basketball. I played for the first time in 6th grade, and I can remember I could not play a lick. Ironically, a girl signed my yearbook and wrote, "You aren't any good at basketball, but good luck anyway." So I'm very happy that that didn't discourage me. And in order to get better, I challenged myself. I used to play basketball at Proctor Recreation Center, which is a center that I now manage in Peoria, Illinois, until the wee hours of the night against boys. I used to play at Impey right here on this campus against the men's team and anybody else who would show up. And let me tell you, they don't care that you're a female. They take it at you like they would anybody else. And I know that these runs against these guys helped me to be a better player and helped me to get stronger and taught me how to hold my own. Also, by playing sports, I received so many opportunities. Most importantly, I received a scholarship from the University of Illinois to play women's basketball and get a good free education. As a woman, and most importantly, a Black woman, I am grateful that Title IX was passed. It has given countless girls and women, including myself, the opportunity to fulfill many goals and dreams. I was able to play professionally in Europe. I was able to coach young girls and women, including my daughters. And right now, I'm able to give opportunities to all people in my hometown in Peoria, Illinois. And I hope that this involvement with these young people has inspired many generations, especially young girls, to get involved in sports. Now, as everyone knows, you can't do anything by yourself. It's all about your foundation and who helped you to get to this point. So I want to thank a few people that helped me. First, there are a few people in my education sports world that I'd like to thank. Thank you to my primary school principal, Mr. Adrian Hinton, who encouraged me to play basketball. And my high school coach, Dennis Brown, who stopped me in the hallway at Manual High School, probably because I was a 6'2" freshman, and made sure that I knew when the first practice would be held. I would also like to thank East St. Louis Lincoln High School girls coach for giving me the opportunity to travel with this team on the AAU circuit. They picked me up in my hometown in Peoria, and we traveled for 2 weeks on the East Coast, where college coaches were able to see me play and ultimately give me a scholarship. I also want to thank my U of I coaches, Coach Schrader, Coach Burnett, and Coach Golden, and the rest of the coaching staff for giving me the opportunity to play at this extraordinary university. But I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Women's Athletic Director at the time, Dr. Carol Kars. She was a phenomenal advocate for women's sports who believed in equality and inclusion. She made sure that all women athletes at the University of Illinois were given the same accommodations as the men, and got on me during my last year here when my grades were slipping. When she called me into her office, I knew something was up. Finally, I want to give a shout out to all of my U of I teammates who are in the audience. My accomplishments happened because of you, and I'm so grateful that many of those friendships have stood the test of time. And then most important, I'd like to thank my family. To my father, James Polk, who I wish could have been here to experience this moment. To my mother, Patricia, hey, and who sacrificed so much for me, and my sister, Rebecca, for being my biggest cheerleader, and who makes me proud of everything that I've accomplished. And to my two remarkable daughters, Janae and Jada, who are carrying on the tradition of being strong women. And to my wonderful husband, Dr. Danielle McCloud, who has been by my side and supported me for the last 28 years, and has shown our daughters the best example of how a woman should be treated. And thank you to the University of Illinois for acknowledging me and giving me this honor. Thank you.
Congratulations once again. I love that you have your own cheering section. They're very rowdy. You keep that up. I like that. It's good energy. Congratulations once again. Our next member is recognized as one of the finest all-round softball players in Fighting Illini history. She still holds school records in several hitting categories, was a slick fielding second baseman, and a star in the classroom. Let's meet softball standout Danielle Zymkowitz.
Danielle Zymkowitz, softball. Danielle Zymkowitz was named first team All Big Ten and All Region 3 times, while earning All-America honors in 2009 and 2011. She was an Illini team captain 3 different seasons and is the school's career leader in batting average, stolen bases, runs, and hits. Zymkowitz is arguably the most complete softball athlete to ever wear a Fighting Illini uniform, excelling at the plate, on the bases, and with the glove. She also was a 3-time academic All Big Ten selection.
Rather be hitting in the 7th inning than doing this stuff with the game on the line. But yeah, Mom, those pictures, I was always that dirty. I'm sorry. That was. But this moment is very surreal to me. I can't say that I've ever dreamt it because when I played at Illinois, this Hall of Fame wasn't around. I only dreamt of going to the College World Series. You saw that on TV every single year in June, and that's what I dreamt of. So I actually want to thank Ron Guenther for bringing the sport of softball to this athletic department. To my coach, Terry Sullivan, not only did you give me a chance, but you also didn't lose that little napkin that you wrote my name on for the first time. And as a college coach, I know how hard that is. There's a lot of stuff that gets thrown out there. So God gave me an extreme passion for the sport of softball, and Coach, you matched it, and you wanted more. You saw the leader I could be when I just loved to play the sport. I'm from California, and being recruited to Illinois, I didn't really have much family here. So Christine, I'd always go over to one of my teammates, Christine's house. She's from Skokie, but I also would always go over to Coach Sullivan's house, and her husband, Wax, loved to play ping pong. And they had a ping pong table down in their basement, and right when I get there, every time he's like, "You ready to play?" I was like, yeah. So here I am trying not to get skunked. He's kicking my butt. So he kicked my butt, and he signed the winning ping pong paddle, and I still have it. Like it says, "Z, winners win, the great ones make everyone better, no excuses." And don't worry, he signed his number 88 also, because I didn't know who kicked my butt in ping pong. But I got the hint. I knew what he was saying, and I knew those words were coming from you, Coach. So thank you. Those words changed my view of the sport and how I could impact it forever. Softball for me wasn't just about practicing the X's and O's. I was kind of decent at that. But it became a way for me to learn how to connect with others, how to work towards a common goal of doing something that's never been done before. And that was my dream always at Illinois, to go to the Women's College World Series and put our program on a map. We never made it to the Women's College World Series, but I'm still chasing that dream at the University of Wisconsin every single day with one thing in mind: winners win. The great ones make everyone better, no excuses. So thank you, Coach Sullivan, for giving me the chance and seeing the leader that I could be. Thank you to my parents, Mom and Dad, for instilling values in me that allowed me to move away from home, chase my dreams, and to work for what I wanted. Maddie, thanks for telling me to stop hitting with 2 strikes, even though it never stressed me out. It stressed you out more watching on Game Tracker. It means so much to have my family here, my coaches, Coach Tobias, Coach OC, and some of my teammates. Champaign, Illinois will always have a special place in my heart because of all you guys, so thank you.
Let's hear it again. Danielle Z. Zymkowitz. So one of the things when we had our honorees all together and past Hall of Famers, Z, you had mentioned that you're the first person in your family's history to graduate from university. And that's my same experience, and the same for some of our Hall of Famers here tonight. So it is such a tremendous thing, thinking about Title IX, thinking about the significance and how that impacts and changes, one person's life and what's possible for them. The Fighting Illini men's basketball program has had a long and storied history. But there was one period, 1949 to 1952, when Illinois made not one, not two, but 3 trips to the NCAA Final Four. Did you know that? Yes! On fire. Saying that that was one of their best eras in our school's history, I think, is putting it a little bit mildly. Our next inductee roamed the Illini sidelines, wearing his trademark red socks for 20 seasons, y'all. 20 seasons. That's a lot of red socks. Let's get to know Harry Combs.
Harry Combs, basketball. As the Fighting Illini head basketball coach, Harry Combs set the school record with 316 career wins that stood for 25 years. His teams won 4 Big Ten titles and made 3 NCAA Final Four appearances in 1949, 1951, and 1952, during one of the most successful eras in Illinois basketball history. Combs also starred as a player for the Illini from 1935 to 1937, helping Illinois to Big Ten titles as a sophomore and senior, twice earning him all Big Ten recognition and being named an All-American in 1937.
Harry passed away in 1977, but we were able to catch up with Ted Leach, who is going to share some thoughts tonight on behalf of him and the family. Ted played for Harry at Champaign High School and Illinois.
Well, the first thing I'd say is I just want to thank Kent Brown and the DIA for inviting me to, giving me the opportunity to share a few memories about Coach Combs, who I played for 7 years. Not too many players play for the same coach through both high school and college. And I was for 3 years at Champaign High School, and then the year I graduated from Champaign, Coach Combs was selected to be the head basketball coach at Illinois. He reminds me a lot of the current program. I'm sure you'd be very happy with the current Illinois basketball program under Coach Underwood. I have many great memories of Harry, and I remember one specific one I might share with you, that was at Iowa City, and we were in a close game with Iowa at the half, and he was giving one of his locker room incentive talks between periods, and he was trying to get us to do a better job of rebounding. And this was in the old Iowa field house, and I do mean old. They had low-hanging steam pipes in the dressing rooms, and Harry was saying, "No, you've got to go up and get that ball like you really want it. Jump up like this." And he went up like this, and he hit his head on that steam pipe and just boom, right down to the floor. And boy, you can't believe it. There's 12 players and 2 coaches in that room, and nobody smiled. He jumped right back up, and he said, "And that's the way you go up and get the ball." And that's the kind of a coach and kind of a guy he was. All of his players respected him to the nth degree, and they wanted to perform for him, and they wanted to win for him. He asked and expected us to give our very best every night. And I think that was a quality. And another thing I would say, and this is where I kind of compare him with Coach Underwood, is intensity. He was very intense. Well, just on a personal basis, he was just, generally speaking, he was just a great coach and a great man and a great friend. And my wife and I thought so much of the entire Combs family. Glad that his daughter Janie and her husband are back for the celebration. And we thought so much of them and so forth. Why we named our 3rd child after Harry's wife, Becky. And I just was thinking the other day that I listened to one of my favorite songs is Wind Beneath My Wings. And Harry Combs was certainly the wind beneath my wings for my entire life.
What a beautiful tribute, absolutely. To accept the award, please welcome to the stage Harry's daughter, Jenny Ostermiller. Congratulations once again for Harry Combs. So as you can see, our Hall of Famers competed at a super high level, right? Like everyone here has done something that you think like, how did you do that? Oh yeah, you're an Illini. Of course you could do that. When it comes to our next honoree, how about becoming the best in Big Ten history in 2 events while competing in your very first collegiate track and field meet ever? I met him today. I like him. I can't wait for his speech, to be honest. I'm so ready. Let's meet 12-time Big Ten champion and 4-time NCAA champion jumper, Charlton Ehizuelen.
Charlton Ehizuelen, track and field. Charlton Ehizuelen came to Illinois from Nigeria and quickly became the greatest jumper in Illini history. He was the NCAA outdoor champion in the triple jump in 1974 and long jump in 1975, and twice won the NCAA indoor title in the long jump in 1976 and 1977. He was the first African to win either NCAA event. In his first Illini meet, Ehizuelen set the Big Ten long jump record, 1/2 inch past the previous mark set by Jesse Owens 39 years earlier. That same day, he set the Big Ten and NCAA triple jump records. More than 4 decades after his collegiate career ended, his long jump and triple jump marks still stand as Illini records.
Good evening, everyone. My story is a little bit different from everybody else here. How you guys doing over there? Those are my team members, teammates for how many years? Over 40 years now, right? We've stayed together for so long. Ever since we left college, we've been together, and it's been a real interesting and beautiful journey. Anyway, I was born in Nigeria, and I came to Illinois to achieve 2 things: to get an education and then prepare for the Olympic Games. And as God will have it, I achieved both of them. Coming to Illinois was never planned. I was competing in Nigeria in high school, and normally we have a competition between Nigeria and Ghana every year. This particular year, 2 American coaches came with the Ghanaian team. And I was competing. I was 3rd in the long jump that year. And the 2 guys who beat me, Ghanaians, they both have been to 2 Olympic Games. One was in 68, and the other one was in 72 Olympics. So coming 3rd to me was the best thing that happened because I was jumping against Olympians. And this American coach came and saw me and said, I sat down, watched you, and I really admire the way you compete. And you're young. It looked like you need to go to America. So I looked at him and I said, what's this guy saying? I didn't quite get what he was saying. So I went and got my coach. And I said to my coach, this guy is offering me something to go to America. And that's what began the whole journey. He gave me 2 addresses. One was to the University of New Mexico, and the other one was to the University of Illinois. I looked at the University of New Mexico. I wasn't interested, so I didn't bother myself with that. I wrote to the University of Illinois. And just as God will have that and faith, the Nigerian national coach was going to school here at the time, Dr. Awotu. So himself and Coach Bob Wright were close, and they got together. and the journey began. That's how I came to Illinois. Coming to Illinois was divine for me, because when I came here, because of the performances that I achieved in this country, the news went back to Nigeria. And a lot of coaches in this country wanted Nigerians. So the thing became a situation where my coming opened up the doors for many Nigerians to come to this country, including basketball players like Akeem Olajuwon. And then Christian Okoye as well, who played football. So the platform here did not just open the door for me. I want you all to know this today. This is history I'm giving you. All right, coming in here opened the doors for track and field, basketball, football, including soccer. So right now, I'm going to acknowledge my buddies over there. Those guys over there gave me the strength that I needed. Coming from way out there in Nigeria, 6,000 to 7,000 miles away, when I got here, I was very lonely. And Coach Bob Wright, who recruited me, sensed it. So he had people like Mike Dawkins and Craig Virgin to begin to guide me and follow me, make sure that I don't deviate, So I'm truly grateful to the two of you. And then my teammates, they understood what was going on. If I needed help on the right, left, I always had one, because they knew I was alone and I was far from Nigeria. I mean, I had to fly 10 hours, to get to Nigeria. Most of them would drive 2 hours to get to Chicago, So I'm very grateful that you guys were there for me. And that kept us going for all this year. That's why we never lost contact. Competing in long jump and triple jump was able to allow me to see the universe and gave me the opportunity to dine with presidents and prime ministers around the world. Like I said, it was divine. And this platform here, the University of Illinois, was chosen to allow that seed to blossom and develop into the heights that I eventually achieved. I didn't do it by myself. I did it because this platform gave me all that opportunity, and I am very grateful to the University of Illinois. In addition, before I close, Coach Werner was a very special man. When he came in and became head coach, he immediately sensed that I sometimes deviate to my own way, and he said, okay, I'm going to have to deal with this guy in a different way. Because Coach Bob Wright and I, we had a different platform, a different relationship. But he did one thing that I will always treasure. I was jumping in Provo, Utah in 1975. I was jumping with a very sore knee, and I was putting eyes on my knee from jumps, from in between jumps. And Coach Werner noticed that, so he came back and said to me, are you okay? I said, Coach, no, I'm about to quit. Then he looked at me and said, oh, no, you know you're not a quitter. I said, yeah, but my knee is hurting me, Then he said, all it takes is one jump. And you're not a quitter. And he walked away. That sort of made me angry, really. So I got up and I took my very last jump and went and set a new collegiate record and won my first NAIA title. With this, I want to say again thank you to everyone. My wife, Vivian, is over there. We came from St. Louis, Missouri. San Antonio, Texas, please. She was born in St. Louis, Missouri. I live in San Antonio, Texas now. She has been with me for 20 years, my very good friend, and my number one supporter. Thank you.
Congratulations, Charlton. And don't you still hold the triple jump record? How many years old is that record now? 40-something? 40-something. Ooh, That's a dusty record. Blow the dust off that record. That's a good thing. Congratulations. That is the level of athlete that he is. That decades later, that he's put his mark on a jump, and it still stands all these years later. And I loved at the luncheon hearing from you, hearing your stories, how you got here. He said when he first arrived from Nigeria, he showed up in Champaign without a jacket, and it was October. And it was winter, it was cold. Well, you figured that out quickly. You need a jacket here, right? One of the cool things about the anniversary of Title IX for me, I went back and I was just doing research just to try and understand, because it is hard, I'll be honest, with someone who grew up doing sports and knowing sport, what it would be like not to have access and resources and be seen as an afterthought and not considered. And again, hard to wrap my head around it. So as we think about Title IX, how cool is this for our next inductee? They were part of the very first women's varsity golf team. And as if that wasn't work enough for this athlete, they're like, I'm gonna join the basketball team. And they starred for 3 seasons for the Illini. Isn't that incredible? Very first, and then you double it up. Track was all I had to give, I'll be honest, that's all I had to give. Let's hear it for Champaign native Becky Beach.
Becky Beach, golf and basketball. A 2-sport star for the Fighting Illini, Becky Beach was Illinois' first women's conference golf medalist, winning the Big Ten title in 1976. She also won the AIAW State Golf Championship in both 1976 and 1977, and competed at the 1976 AIAW National Championship Tournament. Beach also starred in basketball from 1976 to 1978, leading the Fighting Illini in scoring in 1976 and 1977, in rebounding in 1977, and in assists in both 1977 and 1978.
Oh, what a night. Dad, you want to come up here? You did such a good job. Come on back. Thank you to the committee. I stand here honored and humbled to join the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all of my fellow inductees. This is just going to be a big old thank you note, okay? First of all, thank you to my golf coach, Betsy Kimple. You agreed to guide our golf program into the Title IX era. I will be forever grateful to you for getting the program started. I apologize for all of the 3-putts and an occasional 4-putt. I tried to putt like you. I miss you, Coach. Thank you to my basketball coach, Steve Douglas, for guiding our basketball program into the Title IX era. This poor guy, he was Final Four player for Kansas State, came in here and tried to teach us the Tex Winter triangle offense. Your patience and calmness will always be remembered. Also, we will never forget you singing Bye Bye American Pie along with us in those beautiful red travelalls, and your enthusiasm for truck stop dining. Miss you, Coach. To my teammates on both teams, oh, the memories we share. They will not be discussed tonight. I'm seeing a lot more people than I thought were going to be here, so I'm just going to say who I think might be here. Thank you to Janice, Bones, JoJo, Barbella, Linda, Ski for being here tonight. To my friends who are here tonight, thank you so much for being here. Each one of you are so important to my journey. Thank you to the strongest person I know, Amy Curry. To my siblings, Mary Beth, Andy, and Barb, thank you for always being by my side, especially tonight, my Hall of Fame siblings. And on we go. To my brother-in-law, Jim, and my sister-in-law, Elizabeth, thank you for being here. Rest in peace, Bob. To Amanda and Martin, Andrew and Christine, Matt and Janet, Megan and Jeremy, Caroline, Thomas and Sarah, thank you for smiling every time I walk into the room. You make our old Aunt Becky look very proud. And now for the easy part. To my U of I bronze tablet mom, I was not a bronze tablet. Thank you. To my two-time Final Four dad, coached by Harry Combs, thank you. Thank you for walking the golf course or hiding behind the scoreboard, to watching basketball, tennis, volleyball, softball, and flag football games. You were always there. Mom, I wish you were here. Dad, I'm so thankful you're here. I will leave you with this. The alma mater statue is my favorite place on campus. So far, the Beach family tree has 20 members to attend the University of Illinois. So here's to my great nieces, Alba, Mira, Sky, and baby girl Eads to be born in January. And to my great nephews, Keen and Caden, let's get that number to 26 in the coming years. The quote on the alma mater reads, "To thy happy children of the future, those of the past send greetings. From 1912 to 2022, the Beach family sends greetings. To my fellow inductees, family and friends, forever true to the orange and blue, thank you, and let's go beat Maryland in volleyball tonight."
Congratulations, Becky Beach and her fan club. You deserve praise as well. I like those t-shirts. It's pretty impressive. I'm tempted to ask you, what was harder, basketball or golf? Golf? I've never golfed. I don't know. It's harder? Okay. I have no eye-hand coordination, so both would be horrible for me, so that's why I had to ask. All right. 2 sports, hey, in university. Very hard, very impressive. Congratulations once again. So another inductee is up. We are clicking along. I'm halfway through my script. It's going fast, isn't it? It's going fast. Enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. The Heisman Trophy in college football is seen as the pinnacle of personal success. It's very rarely that a defensive player gets support as the National Player of the Year. However, our next Hall of Famer terrorized opposing offenses enough that in 1959 finished 4th in voting for this prestigious award. Let's take in this video as we introduce Cheban's Illinois native, Bill Burrell.
Bill Burrell, football. At only 6 foot in height and weighing 215 pounds, Bill Burrell finished 4th in the Heisman Trophy voting and was a consensus All-America linebacker for the Illini in 1959. He was a 3-time first-team All-Big Ten selection and was the 1959 Big Ten Silver Football Award winner, while also serving as the first black captain of the Illini football team. Burrell played 5 seasons in the Canadian Football League and was named to the Illinois All-Century team in 1990.
However, his wife, Dolores, was able to share her thoughts with us.
We're excited. I'm sure the entire family is excited about it. Let's recognize the fact that he was the first in his family to get a college education. And back then that was a rare thing for a minority. So this is exciting for all of us that's left here, that's still here. His grandson, especially one of his great-grandsons, is a fantastic football player, very much like his great-grandfather. So it's a good thing. It's just exciting. We took with us the understanding that if you work hard, you plan, and you succeed. So when we went to Canada, not only did he just play football there, we decided that we were going to enter the world of business. And so we started with managing a bowling alley. And from that, we looked into other forms of business. We came back to Kankakee and built apartment buildings in the African-American neighborhood. We did many, many businesses. That he was, number one, a brilliant person, and he was a hard worker. And he actually loved people. He wanted to help people, especially in the minority community. And that is what we did.
Wonderful words. How fortunate for us, Dolores is here tonight to receive the award from Josh. Congratulations. So I talked about the fact that there are inductees tonight who were able to achieve success in an era before Title IX. This athlete is one of them. She made the 1964 U.S. Olympic team during her senior year at Tuscola High School. Amazing. Before joining the University of Illinois. She competed as the lone member of the women's gymnastics team. One member only, even paying her own way to the AIAW National Championships. Remember what we said before Title IX? Got to pay your own way. She also was coached by the men's coaches. That's who coached her. Let's learn more about Linda Metheny-Mulvihill.
Linda Metheny-Mulvihill, gymnastics. Linda Metheny-Mulvihill won 7 gold, 3 silver, and 1 bronze medal at the Pan American Games in 1967 and 1971, and was the flag bearer for the U.S. team in 1971. She competed in the 1964, 1968, and 1972 Olympics, finishing 4th on the balance beam in 1968. Domestically, Metheny won 18 individual national titles during her career and was inducted into the U.S. Gymnastics Hall of Fame. She enrolled at Illinois following the 1964 Olympics and competed as the only member of the women's gymnastic team in the era before AIAW and NCAA competition.
Okay, I'm kind of short here. I have to move this a little bit. I want to say congratulations to this amazing Hall of Fame class. Every person is so special. The luncheon, we got to hear from them, and it's amazing to hear their stories. And I want to really first quickly thank my family, my late grandparents, my parents, my dear sister Sarah, and my 3 brothers. So thank you for a lifetime of love, support, and believing in me, and for putting up with me. For I was always cartwheeling through the house from room to room and doing handstands in front of the TV. and knocking the thermostat off the wall during the middle of winter. But luckily, we all survived, and I don't really do that quite as much anymore. But wow, I'm surprised and humbled and very honored to be here tonight, because it's been 50 years since I was a student here. And to be remembered after such a long time is pretty amazing. But there was no women's gymnastics team. There was only a men's team. And since I was pre-Title IX, I had to be resourceful. I couldn't train on campus. But I was thankful to be able to train at the McKinley YMCA. So in my college years, I got up at 4:40 every morning and made it to practice at the Y by 5 a.m. I practiced in the morning from 5 to 8. And my second practice was from 5 to 8 or 9 in the evenings. And that's what it took to be an elite gymnast at that time. I also took many dance classes and full academic classes, and I managed to study, and on weekends to work and to pay my way. Along my athlete-student journey, I was a dishwasher, a waitress, a short order cook, a cashier. I mostly worked at the Y and later at Parkland Junior College. But I had help along the way, and I have people to thank. First, I want to thank my hometown of Tuscola, to thank my TCHS teachers and my classmates, the Rotary Club and other clubs, and the townspeople for their support. A thank you to all my coaches, Mrs. Peg Pettit of Tuscola, who really set me on my path, and Charlie Pond, the men's coach at the university, along with Muriel Grossfeld and A.B. Grossfeld, Olympians that were here at the university at that time. And a special thanks to Richard Mulvihill, who became my longtime coach and my partner. So with all of my hometown support and my good coaching, I was able to be a successful gymnast. And you've kind of heard about those things that I was able to accomplish. But I was very proud to represent the United States, or the University of Illinois, right? The United States too in the Olympics, but the University of Illinois at the Women's Collegiate National Championships, which I was able to attend for 3 years. And they had a point system for determining the placements of the team. And in 1968, with me by myself, I placed third place team. So go Illini. I wasn't allowed to have the team trophy, though. They had to quickly make a rule that you need to have 5 athlete scores to count. And I have to say now that I am very, very happy that the University of Illinois has a women's gymnastics team. And the post-Title IX girls, like my McKinley YMCA and my Olympic teammate Nancy Thies, had the wonderful opportunity to be on a scholarship and to have a team experience here at the university. So I'm always rooting for the University of Illinois women's gymnastics team. Last but not least, I have to thank all of my university professors. I don't remember all the details of what I learned when I studied here, but I credit the education for giving me the courage and the fortitude to carry on with all of life's possibilities and challenges, such as coaching. I've coached for 50 years now and had many successful athletes. Was able to open a business that is still successful today. I became an international judge and was able to judge 2 Olympic Games. And most importantly, raised 3 wonderful children. So it's been a busy 50 years, and I thank my Illinois roots for all of it. So in closing, I want to say, you can't be a gymnast forever, but you can be a student for life. So I want to encourage you to never stop learning, never stop moving, and never ever stop appreciating and being grateful. I am grateful for the journey, for the sacrifices, for the triumphs, and for the joys. So thank you, University of Illinois. I'm very proud to be an Illini. Thank you.
Congratulations, Linda. One of the things I learned quickly from Linda when we were at the luncheon was that your dad switched jobs or shifts, I believe. So he would work nights so that he could drive you home from campus in Champaign to Tuscola, and that you would ride up with the teachers from Tuscola to Champaign. So that tells you how much courage and how much effort and how much had to be done prior to the era of Title IX, just for young women and girls to get a chance, to get a shot. So hearing your story today, there's no excuse for any of us who came after you to take anything for granted. So once again, for Linda, please. Our next Hall of Famer played a major role for Lou Henson and the Fighting Illini in the 1980s, leading Illinois to 3 straight NCAA tournament appearances as one of the best scorers in the nation. Let's take a look at the accomplishments of Ken Snake Norman.
Ken Norman, basketball. Ken Norman earned second-team consensus All-America honors his senior season in 1987, when he averaged nearly 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. He was a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten selection in 1986 and 1987, while helping lead Illinois to NCAA tournament appearances all 3 seasons as an Illini. Norman was an NBA first-round pick in 1987 and enjoyed an 11-year career with the Clippers, Bucks, and Hawks, scoring more than 8,700 points and grabbing nearly 4,000 rebounds. He was named to the Illinois All-Century team in 2005.
Ken Norman, please come up to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I'd like to congratulate again all the Hall of Famers. You know as well as I do, it takes a lot to attain a lot of success on whatever your perspective field is. So I want to congratulate you guys. And I'd like to start off by thanking everyone that was involved in the process of allowing me to become a Illini Hall of Famer. I apologize. I don't know how you guys got up here without getting emotional, but this is very emotional for me. I'd like to thank, starting off, I didn't come straight to Illinois. I went to Wabash Valley Junior College for a year. And it was my first time being away from home, being away from Chicago. Where's Coach Combs? Oh, okay, sorry. I want to start off by thanking you, Anthony, your son, your former wife. When I got to Wabash, you guys treated me like I was family. And that's something that will never, ever be forgotten. I had no idea how I would make it. And I want to thank you not only from that year, but then you also came to Illinois and you were an assistant. And you always played a major part in my life, on and off the basketball court, my post-NBA career, we stayed in communication. And I just want to tell you I love you, and I thank you for that. In my life and in sports, it's never really been about me. It's always been about family, friends, people that I care about, that I know care about me. And that's what I'm all about. I know a lot of people that I went to college with that watch me play sports, it's always been about muscles and being tough and all that. I guess you guys see the soft side of me now. But I'd also like to thank the late, great Coach Henson for the way that he instilled all the things that my mom instilled in me in terms of being respectful, treating people with respect, being on time, et cetera, et cetera. My mom's 95 years old, and when I was here at Illinois, Coach Henson told me and taught the same things that my mother taught me for my whole life, and I truly appreciate Coach Henson for that. And on to the hard work. I saw Doug. Where's Doug Aldenberger? Oh, I wanted to thank all my teammates that I played with because I wouldn't be standing up here today if it wasn't for you guys. It's the game of basketball. One person might score a lot of points, but that couldn't go without someone setting a screen or being a good shooter to help you free up on the interior. And Doug, you may not know this, but you were always one of my favorite players to play with because you believed in all the things that I did and playing hard, competing. I knew if we needed if a big shot had to be taken, if I didn't take it, that you would take it and that you would make it. When it was time to get a big defensive stop, you would make sure that we got it. And I want to thank you for coming and supporting me tonight. It's always meant the world to me. And moving on to my family and friends. You guys have always been the reason that I wanted to play sports. I wanted to go to college, come and get an education. I have some of my sisters and brothers in the building, Mildred, Donna, Ray, Ricky. And again, it's never been about me. It's always been about my family and my friends. And you guys always pushed me to be the best. You always believed in me. And that meant the world to me. There's no way that my jersey would be hanging up there. There's no way I'd be up here without you guys. Thank you. I love you. I'd also like to thank my beautiful wife, Elisa. Where'd you go? Okay. And my two beautiful daughters, Kyra, Sydney. I have my grandboys in the building, Nolan, Nate, and Noah. Sorry. And in closing, I know that on paper, and as my jersey hangs up there, it says Ken Norman. And me going into the Hall of Fame, it says Ken Norman. But it's not Ken Norman that's going into the Hall of Fame. It's all of us. All my brothers, sisters, my mother, my grandboys, everybody. It's all of us going into the Hall of Fame. And I want to thank all the Illini fans that came and supported me each and every game, each and every year. Without you guys, I could have never attained the success that I did, nor could the team have attained the success that we attained. I'm not going to stand up here and be a crybaby too much longer. I actually bet my youngest sister 20 push-ups that I wouldn't cry, but this means the world to me, and the fact that you guys are here to share it with me means a lot. My post have a lot of friends in the family. My playing days, got the Hurleys in the building. I see John, I see Nate, I see Tom, I see my attorney, Art. Shout out to you. I just love and I appreciate all you guys, and I'm gonna get off here and go cry by myself over there. Thank you very much.
Ken Norman, everyone, one more time. Congratulations. 20 push-ups, hey? 20 push-ups. You better deliver. You better deliver. I love to see vulnerability in athletes, especially male athletes, because oftentimes, right, we expect them to always, be tough and strong, and it's totally okay, and it's wonderful to see you express your love for your family and your university and everything that they mean to you. So thank you for allowing us to see that part of you tonight. Thank you. It means a lot. So I realized something, and you all should have checked me. I've gone all night without doing something. Do you know what that is? ILL? Come on, I'm like, what was I thinking? Well, I need a little bit louder. That wasn't loud enough. We're getting to the end, so we got to make up for missing some time. ILL! That's what I like to hear. Our next inductee competed 20 years before Title IX, yet was an international star in the pool and a medalist at the Helsinki Olympic Games. And this part is really huge. She is the first female swimmer inducted into our Hall of Fame. Let's learn a little bit more about Jody Alderson Braskamp.
Jody Alderson Braskamp, swimming and diving. As a student at the University of Illinois, Jody Alderson won the bronze medal in the 4x100 freestyle relay at the 1952 Helsinki Olympics and set a world record in the 100-yard freestyle in 1954. She also tied for third in the 100-yard freestyle at the 1952 Olympics. Jody was a member of AAU National Championship relay teams in 1952 and 1953 before retiring from competitive swimming in 1954.
Sadly, Jody passed away in 2021, but we were able to catch up with her granddaughter, Anna Braskamp McMahon, for some words.
Hello, Illini faithful. It is so cool to have the opportunity to accept this award on behalf of my grandma. My grandma, Jody Alderson Braskamp, never would have imagined that she'd be placed alongside U of I legends of her era. To be honored as a member of this elite class by the school that she loved would have left her humbled and speechless. Good thing I get to do the talking for her. Jody loved the University of Illinois. She was a fierce competitor, a successful athlete, and a loyal Kappa Kappa Gamma sister. My grandma was incredibly proud to be a fighting Illini, just like her father, who also swam here. My grandma was an absolute legend, and I wanted to be just like her. I swam, I joined Kappa, but her accomplishments in the pool were something else. Jody went to the Olympics at the age of 17, broke world records at the age of 19. Soon after, she retired from her sport, and from there, she humbly dedicated all of her time and energy to family and to her community. Most people in her adult life actually had no idea she was an Olympian, let alone an Olympian medalist and world record holder. She truly was an inspiration. On behalf of my entire family, thank you to the University of Illinois for joining us in celebrating this incredible woman and incredible athlete. While we miss her terribly, we know she would have been so honored and so proud to be receiving this award. Thank you.
And we're so happy that Anna's here to receive this award on behalf of Jody's family. Congratulations. Our next honoree is a legendary pioneer in the history of women in sports. She broke barriers as a student athlete at Tuskegee Institute and on international and national teams, then as collegiate and Olympic coach. The number of halls of fames that she's in, seriously, y'all, I would be here all night if I had to read them, but she's in many, many, many. It's very impressive. Let's learn more about Dr. Nell Jackson.
Dr. Nell Jackson, women's track and field coach. In 1970, Nell Jackson led the Illinois women to the national championship for women's track and field. The U.S. Olympic women's track and field head coach in 1956 and 1972, Jackson was inducted into the USA Track and Field Hall of Fame in 1989 and is considered one of the pioneers in women's track and field. She was the first black coach to be named head coach of the U.S. Olympic team, as well as the first black woman to serve on the U.S. Olympic Committee's board of directors. Jackson is a member of numerous halls of fame, including the Women's Sports Foundation Hall of Fame and International Women's Sports Hall of Fame.
Dr. Jackson, absolutely. She passed away in 1988, and no members of her family are here tonight, so I will be accepting this award in her honor. Let's hear it for Dr. Jackson. So I really am excited to talk a little bit about our next inductee. I guess I'd like to call it a personal connection, and I'll let you know why, but let's find out who this woman is. Dawn Riley Duval was one of the most successful track and field athletes for the Illini during a period of dominance in the Big Ten Conference. She was part of a wave of great hurdlers during the mid-1990s. We're pleased that the All-American and Big Ten champion is able to join us this evening. I had a tattered media guide with her in it, and she was one of the reasons that I decided to come to this university based on what I saw she had accomplished alongside the others. So let's get to meet Dawn Riley.
Dawn Riley, track and field. As a member of the Fighting Illini track and field team, Dawn Riley was an 8-time All-American and 7-time Big Ten champion. She finished 6th in the 100-meter hurdles at the 1996 NCAA outdoor meet and was 3rd at the 1996 indoor meet in the 55-meter hurdles. She also finished 4th in the indoor 800-meter run in 1995. Riley helped lead the Illini to Big Ten indoor team titles in 1993, 1995, and 1996, and an outdoor title in 1995, while Illinois had 2 top 5 finishes at the NCAA Outdoor Championships in 1995 and 1996.
Let's welcome Dawn to the stage. Come on up.
Track and field is in the house tonight. I tell you, my goodness, what an honor it is to be inducted in a Title IX anniversary year. What? What an honor, what an honor. We stand on the shoulders of greats. Thank you, U of I Athletics Hall of Fame Induction Committee, for choosing me to be a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2022. Now, I need to tell y'all that I do have a few titles at the beginning of my name, and it's Reverend Doctor. And so as I'm coming up here, my daughter says, "Mom, do not preach." So I will keep it short, y'all. I assure you, I'll keep it short. But this is such a beautiful, I heard a church, all right now over there. All right now. It is, hey now, don't get me started up in here. Indeed, this is a beautiful, beautiful honor. I just give so much gratitude. I am so, so grateful to my family. I started running when I was 8 years old, and I kind of got it going on a little bit now. But at 8, I was just gangly and raggedy and just loved to win and had no coordination, but my family was at every meet just cheering me on and giving me all kind of love, so thank you. Thank you to my mom and to my dad and my entire family, definitely, but certainly to my Mimi, my grandmother. I'm grateful. To my coaches, thank you. I started running with the Colorado Flyers. I'm from Denver, Colorado. Started running with the Colorado Flyers, and Tony Wells was a coach. Jerry Waddles was a coach of mine, and they took me under their wing and helped me to figure out these things called 100-meter hurdles, and I'm so grateful. To my teammates, thank you. Thank you. They were amazing in Colorado and definitely here at the University of Illinois, and I'm so grateful. And grateful to the coaches here, Gary Winkler and Ron Garner, who brought me here during a time when the winds weren't blowing the stink off the plots. And so I went ahead and signed. And I'm grateful to them. And I want to extend congratulations to each esteemed 2022 Hall of Fame inductee at this time. I am in awe. I am in awe of all of you. Congratulations. I was a scholar athlete here at the University of Illinois from 1992 to 1996. So that was 30 years ago, y'all. So yeah, I'm a little old, but it's all good. And I never would have imagined during that time that someday I would be inducted into the U of I Athletics Hall of Fame, because I was blessed to be on the U of I women's track squad with Black women track deities. So the Tanja Buford Bailey, the Selena Mondi Milner, the Tanya Williams, all of whom have been inducted into the U of I Athletics Hall of Fame. So compared to Tanja and compared to Tanya and Selena, I was mediocre compared to these greats. It's okay, we can tell the truth up in here. Tell the truth and shame the devil. It's okay, it's okay. So I was not an Olympian. I do not have NCAA titles, but baby, I was able to run the 100-meter hurdles professionally. So I was able to travel the world. I was able to meet people across the globe, mastering the mind, body, soul synchronicity that is required to sprint over 10 hurdles, precise attention to technique and details, the courage and creativity to fly and sprint, audacious in requiring myself to take risks, loving how my body felt, every muscle strong and ready, healthy, so damn powerful. Hydrated, just energized. I was impressive, and I impressed myself, and I liked that. I liked it. I was rested and joyful and playful and fearless and confident about who I am, Black, fearless, and free. This foundation that loved ones at the University of Illinois Athletics helped me cultivate has served me well, and I thank you all. You all helped me have a deep hunger for learning. I have 4 degrees, y'all, including a doctorate in theology from the University of Chicago. You all helped me to know who I am. 30 years ago, when I arrived on the campus from Denver, Colorado, where there are about 2.5 black people. No, I'm just kidding. There's more than that, but you get what I'm saying. It felt like when I arrived here at U of I, it felt like I landed in Africa. Between the courses that I took, the amazing athletes, and the wonderful parties at the Union, hosted by black fraternities and sororities, I felt that I knew, I came to love that I am unapologetically black. I love being black, and I love the work of all God's people coming together to live abundant, liberative lives. You all helped me to have the courage and creativity to be an entrepreneur. In Denver, I co-founded a Black Lives Matter chapter. And I co-founded a nonprofit organization that centers Black women's reproductive health. And you all helped me hope and pray for a fulsome, life-giving college experience for my 2 children, my son Ajani, who is 17, and my daughter Amaya, who is 15, and who is here celebrating with me this evening. I share this love letter with you all just to let you know that my time here in the 90s were some of the best years of my life, and they have totally impacted my life. And as I will be 50 here just next year, I am clear that I am feeling the best I have felt since I was stomping on the campus here at the University of Illinois. I feel clear, and I feel strong, and I feel confident and full of life. Thank you for the honor of inducting me into the University of Illinois Athletics Hall of Fame. This has allowed me an opportunity to reflect and express my deep gratitude for the gifts gained as a scholar athlete and an opportunity to be here with you all this evening. Thank you. Thank you.
Powerful words. Powerful words. No, you took us to church. I'm baptized right now, and I love it. Thank you very much. I have goosebumps. Union parties. It took me back, but this is not the time or the place. I'm going to keep it moving. One more time, please, for Dr. Reverend. Thank you so much, Don Riley Duvall. Thank you. Ron Guenther's connection with the University of Illinois began in 1963 as a freshman on the football team that won the Big Ten title and the Rose Bowl. That was a good year. Hey, Ron, that was a good year. It then stretched until he retired after 20 years as the director of athletics in 2011. His impact as a leader on the U of I campus cannot be understated. And I know because he was my AD. Absolutely, he was. Let's watch and learn more about Ron Guenther.
Ron Guenther, Athletics Director and Football. Ron Guenther served as the Fighting Illini Director of Athletics from 1992 to 2011, leading the way for a major transformation in athletics facilities on the University of Illinois campus. Major projects under his watch include the Memorial Stadium Renaissance, the Irwin Football Indoor Facility, the Demersion Golf Facility, the Kahn Outdoor Tennis Facility, and the Ubben Basketball Practice Facility. During his tenure, Illinois captured 34 Big Ten championships, made the men's basketball Final Four, and made 6 football bowl game appearances. including the Sugar Bowl and Rose Bowl. As an Illini football player from 1964 to 1966, Guenther earned team MVP and second team All Big Ten honors as an offensive lineman.
You can keep clapping. Now, I don't know how this order of speaking, but would you like to follow that? I don't have that level, okay? I just don't have that level. Yeah, a little bit overwhelming, actually. I had an opportunity to talk to the football team this week, and I used the phrase, and I'll say it again, if you guys, it's late, and I've been chopping stuff out because I'm ready to go home. And I said, if you guys quit listening before I quit talking, at least look alert, okay? And the football team did a pretty good job of that. Anyway, this has been a wild couple of days. The thing that happened at the luncheon, Josh, as we each talked, I realized I had seen everybody in that room participate. So you want to talk about being old? Because I often said, in the old days, it's I'm not saying we were wild or anything, but the word old kept coming up, and I didn't like that. So I also would like to add my congratulations to the other awardees. I'm honored and privileged to be part of it. Yeah, I did come here in 1963, and that's 59 years ago. And so, many, many memories. I came with two objectives. I also was not only first generation of college, looking for a college graduation, I was the first generation to be here. My dad claimed he was from Germany, but I think it was Russia. And I think we tried to bury that. We buried him, but we also buried where he came from, okay? But I would just say I had, two objectives. One, I wanted to get a college education, and we accomplished that. And I also wanted to be a starter on that football team. And with Dick Butkus here and Jimmy Grabowski here, while I was a linebacker, I was a guard, and then I started looking elsewhere for another position. And eventually, Coach, yeah, you can laugh, Dana. Eventually, the spring, Coach Elliott said, Ron, and I was about 195 pounds, and I'd been a sprinter in high school, a shot putter, and wrestled. He said, why don't you come back a little bit heavier, and we'll try you at guard. Well, that was easy. So I went from about 190 pounds to 212. The problem is I couldn't even get my stance. Then he said, let's take 10 pounds off of you. But the opportunities that University of Illinois gave me were just fantastic. And the relationship I've had all the way through the years. I'm indebted to all the people that touched my life while I was a student here. And the great thing about it, a number of my teammates were here. I think to the guys that came back, thank you. We have one coach, I believe, Bill Taylor, is still alive, and Bill was coming. Bill is blind. He's in his 90s. I talk to him about every 2 weeks, and I would encourage some of my other guys to make that call because he remembers us like it was just like it was yesterday. So I'm very thankful for this. It's a great honor, not something that I ever thought would come about in a way. I'm also indebted to my staff. I should say our staff, the management group that I was very blessed to work with. This award, and many of them are here tonight, belongs to all of us, because that's the way we worked. And I'm very proud to call them my team, our team. Thank you very much.
One more time for Ron Guenther. So Ron, I don't know if you remember this moment, but I do. It was 2003. I had just won the NCAA championship, but I also had won the World Championships as a senior at the University of Illinois. And it changed my world. I was the youngest in history to ever win a world title in the 100-meter hurdles. And I came back to campus, and I got offered this huge contract from Nike to turn professional. But I still had another indoor season of eligibility, and I still had a whole year of schooling that I desperately wanted. And I didn't know what to do. I was a girl who grew up poor with no money, homeless, didn't have a lot. And suddenly I have an opportunity to be professional, but I also love my team, love my university, and it felt like a betrayal to potentially take that contract. I remember asking to have a meeting with Ron, and he took it. And I asked him, I said, this is my dilemma. I don't want to let my team down. I don't want to let anyone else down, but I have this opportunity. And if turning professional meant it would put at jeopardy my teammates and my ability to stay here and be with my team, then I wasn't ever going to turn pro. I was going to wait. But if I could stay here and still have my scholarship and be with my teammates and still be part of the team, then I knew that the answer was I had to make that leap. I had done everything that I could at this level. And Ron made sure that I could keep my locker, I could keep my scholarship, I keep my coach, I keep my team, I keep my everything. Nothing would change. And I wrote a book, and that scene is in the book called My Mother's Daughter, about your generosity and your grace. And you could have made it hard. You could have made it difficult. You could have said, you have eligibility, you stay, get the hell on, but you didn't. And I don't know if you remember that meeting or that day, but it is one of those things that I never forget, your generosity. And that locker lasted me a long time, because I spent another 10 years of my life here after that. So let's hear it again for Ron Guenther. Thank you, Ron. Illinois wrestling has a long list of Big Ten champions, and our next Hall of Famer won titles in 1957 and 1959. One of the most versatile wrestlers in Illinois history. Let's learn a little bit more about Werner Holzer.
Werner Holzer, wrestling. Werner Holzer was a U.S. Olympian in 1968 and was inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame in 1993. He won Big Ten wrestling titles in 1957 and 1958, while compiling a record of 71-7 during his collegiate career. Holzer placed third at the 1957 NCAA Championships. One of the few Americans to compete internationally in both styles, he placed fourth in freestyle at the 1966 World Championships and sixth in Greco-Roman at the 1968 Olympics. Holzer is credited with founding USA Wrestling as the national governing body of amateur wrestling.
Sadly, he passed away in 2018. However, we were able to talk to his son Eric before tonight to share some thoughts.
Good evening. On behalf of our mother Dottie, entire family, and dear friends, we're honored to accept this distinction for Werner Holzer, and we would like to thank the University of Illinois for this extraordinary tribute. Dad was born and raised in Chicago, so getting the opportunity to attend the University of Illinois on a wrestling scholarship was a dream come true. Illinois was always dear in Dad's heart, and truly the place that sparked a lifelong passion and service to the sport of wrestling, as an athlete, coach, and ambassador for the sport. Illinois was always a huge part of Dad's story, and his love for Illinois and Chicago would span a lifetime. The incredible values and principles that he fostered in this sport, beginning at Schurz High School and onward at the U of I, continued on throughout his life as he dedicated himself to his sport, his career, and most importantly, his family. These values have carried forward into our family's lives and the lives of so many others that Dad touched along the way. So thank you, on behalf of the Holzer clan, to everyone at the University of Illinois, for all that you gave to Werner as well as the rest of us. This university is forever ingrained into our hearts. Unfortunately, Dad is no longer here, but his spirit continues to live on through all of us. We do have a brief clip of him speaking about his time here. No better words to express what Illinois meant to him than his own. Thank you.
It was at the University of Illinois. Again, to back up just a little bit, again, there was nobody in my family went to college, you know. And like I said, I had a 5th grade education. My older brothers didn't go to college. And the only reason that I went to college was because of wrestling. It completely changed my entire life. Because I was, you know, undefeated state champion, I was offered a scholarship at the University of Illinois. And so I took advantage of that, and I was there for 4 years and had a very successful career there. So again, there's no way I would have gone to college. I mean, it wasn't even thinking college, but because of the wrestling, you know, completely changed my direction in life, changed my entire life. I mean, my job, you know, meeting my wife, everything about my life changed completely because of wrestling.
It's like he's speaking right to us. So Werner's daughter, Jill Bull, is here, and she'll be accepting this award on behalf of the family. Congratulations. Our next Hall of Famer established herself as arguably the top defender in Fighting Illini soccer history. Illinois produced 42 shutouts during her career before she moved on to compete professionally and twice in the Olympics. Forget this, Canada, that's my country, women. Let's learn more about Emily Zurrer.
Emily Zurrer, soccer. During her tenure on the Fighting Illini soccer team's back line, Emily Zurrer earned All-America honors 3 times, including first team in 2006. She was a 3-time first team All-Big Ten selection and first team All-Region as a junior and a senior. In her final season, Zurrer was the Big Ten Co-Defensive Player of the Year and was the 2009 Big Ten Medal of Honor selection from Illinois. She competed for Canada at the 2008 and 2012 Olympics, starting every game in 2008 and helping her squad to a bronze medal in 2012.
I was lucky enough to meet Perdita, a Canadian legend, at TJ Maxx this morning when I was buying this dress. So that was awesome. I'm so incredibly honored to be here. Congratulations to all my fellow inductees. I'm just so humbled to be standing up here on stage by you, and I'm just in awe of every single one of you. The University of Illinois holds so many memories that are dear to my heart, and man, does it feel good to be back. Some of my fondest times and best friends in the world come from my time here as an Illini, and I feel so lucky that life led me to Champaign, Illinois, when I was a young and very naive 17-year-old with a Canadian passport. I don't think anything could have fully prepared me for the joy, the lessons, the friendships, and some of the best 4 years of my life that were to come. I grew up on an island off the coast of Vancouver, Canada. For those who are unfamiliar, Vancouver Island is big enough to have a few major cities on it, but those details never really mattered when you tried to explain to someone from the Midwest that you had to take a ferry to get to training. It wasn't the only thing I would be teased about throughout those 4 years. No, we don't live in igloos. I would get asked this question all the time. How does a girl from a small town on an island on the west coast of Canada make it all the way to Champaign-Urbana to play for the Fighting Illini? It's a good question. I have tried to come up with a better answer over the years, but there really is only one way to explain it. Apart from Coach Janet Rayfield, who I will get to in a moment, it was just this feeling I had when I stepped on campus. There is an energy at Illinois that makes you feel like you want to be a part of it. The history is rich and the energy is just so contagious. It felt like every single person I met genuinely wanted to know about me as a person, even before figuring out about me as an athlete. As soon as I stepped on campus, I knew in my heart that this is where I wanted to be, and I've never looked back. At the beginning, I wondered if I was good enough. There was a time early on in my Illini career where I started to lose confidence in myself. I felt my play on the field and my mental strength slip quite drastically, and I assumed the coaching staff would start to lose confidence in me too. Instead, all I felt from Janet was belief. Every time I looked or spoke to her, she made me feel like a better player than I was. And with her belief, I started to believe it too. For all 4 years, if there was ever a moment of doubt, I knew that she had my back. Janet, all I can say is thank you. I was with you for 4 years, and you have had such a major impact on my life. You helped me to grow as a student athlete, as a soccer player, and most importantly, as a person. I never realized how much impact a coach could have on an athlete until I played for you at Illinois, and I'm so thankful that my life path somehow led me to you. Without your belief, guidance, and confidence in me, I truly believe that I would not have been able to achieve the same level of success as an Illini and for Canada. Now to my teammates, some are here tonight. You are some of the greatest friends I will ever have, and you're also my family. We had an extremely close-knit class that lived together for all 4 years of college, and people would sometimes tease us that our infatuation with each other wouldn't last forever. Well, we still talk every single day, and that's not an exaggeration. We've stuck together through all of the highs and lows of life, and this Illini bond is truly forever. Thank you also to your families for taking care of this little Canadian when she was so many miles away from her own family. To my family, I love you. My parents, who probably drove over 100,000 miles to support their daughters in their sports endeavors, and who truly made everything possible for me. Thank you. My husband, thank you for being my rock and the best dad to our baby boy, Leo. I love you. This is our first time away from him, so we might stay up past 10 p.m. tonight. We'll see. We were fortunate to win quite a bit when I was an Illini, but as we know, life, like soccer, is not about wins and losses. It is not about individual honors or trophies or even being inducted into the Hall of Fame, although this is pretty damn cool. To me, it is about the people you meet along the way. And thanks to the University of Illinois, I've met some pretty amazing people. It is an honor of a lifetime to be inducted into this Hall of Fame and this family. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Emily. And I can echo many of the things that you said. You know, coming here from a different country, you know, I remember people would be like, where's Pickering, Ontario? Like, where's that? But I felt fully embraced and supported and loved here. And that is one of the things I can say. I'm still in touch with my teammates as well. So, and by the way, that TJ Maxx dress is awesome. You did good. Yes. Can I just say it's very hard to find an orange dress anywhere in the world? Did you guys know that? It's very hard. Just saying, but navy will have to do. One more inductee to go. We are nearing the very end of our time together. He's the first Fighting Illini quarterback to be inducted into our Hall of Fame and will be remembered as one of the most clutch players in Illinois football history. Let's take a look at the video for more about Jeff George.
Jeff George, football. After leading the Fighting Illini to back-to-back bowl appearances and a 10-win season in 1989, Jeff George was the #1 overall NFL draft pick in 1990 by the Indianapolis Colts. He was named first team All Big Ten quarterback in 1989 after earning second team honors in 1988 before enjoying his 12-year NFL career where he threw for nearly 28,000 yards and 154 touchdowns. Known for his late-game heroics during his 2 seasons at Illinois, George threw for 5,189 yards and 31 touchdowns, while setting the single-season record with 22 touchdown passes in 1989.
Thank you so much. First of all, yeah, congratulations to everybody today. I was fortunate enough to have lunch with a lot of the inductees and got to know a lot about softball, a lot about track, stuff that I didn't probably know before, but appreciate it a lot now. But congratulations to everybody. I'm so humbled, grateful, honored to be here tonight. Thank you to Josh and the committee for allowing me to be here. You know, like everyone else said before, without our teammates, without being around good people, we wouldn't be here, or we wouldn't be the people that, or I wouldn't be the person that I am today. So just want to say thank you to Josh and to making my dreams come true. Like everyone says, you never really expect to make a Hall of Fame, and when something like that happens, you're proud. Because you know the hard work that's put in to getting here. So when I received the call, Josh had called me, left me a voicemail, and we just kept playing phone tag, and I kind of felt that, you know, what was happening. And then Chris Tuttle, who's here I think tonight, followed up with a phone call saying that, you know, you were inducted to the Hall of Fame, and what an honor. You know, I didn't even know how to respond. And this past week, been talking to many people in the media, many friends, and I remember talking to, just a couple of days ago, Bob Asmussen, who was actually lived in the same apartment that I lived in when I was here. So he and I kind of go way back, but he had was doing an article, and he had asked me how I felt when Josh called and left me a message, what was going through my mind. And like many of us, I don't think that we consider ourselves Hall of Famers. We just consider ourselves a teammate. And so I thought about it, and he asked me, have you prepared a speech? Do you know what you're going to talk about? And I said, wow, you know, I really haven't. And just listening to Ken Norman up here, and you know, he was an emotional guy, and I'm understanding what he was talking about, because I'm feeling those emotions right now. So I apologize ahead of time as I get into this. I know I'm going to lose it, but yeah. So first and foremost, you know, I really want to thank the good Lord for blessing me with an incredible life, allowing me to do the things that a lot of people can't. And he continues to bless me each and every day. So I am so thankful that my faith has gotten me to where I am. And you need that faith a lot of times. And I hope Ken Norman doesn't mind if I steal something from him today. We were at the luncheon, and he had stood up and he was talking about himself or you know, his journey, and how our paths crossed. He was in Atlanta at the same time that I was with the Colts, but I got traded to Atlanta, so we were there at the same year. And he was kind of going through a rough patch, just like I was in Atlanta. We weren't very good, but you know, we're going through the same thing together. And I remember he brought to my attention that at halftime, two Illinios got together and were rehashing a little bit of stories, but he was kind of being booed and going through some tough times, and I was being booed at the same time, and it's kind of funny how life comes back around. And so Ken, now look at us now, we're Hall of Famers. So it's a pretty proud moment for me to be inducted the same year he has. Like he said, we were in Atlanta together, left Atlanta together, and getting enshrined. We're Hall of Famers now together as well. So proud moment for me and him and all of us here. Some people that aren't here that mean the world to me in my life, as most of us up here, is you love your parents. And I was fortunate, or am fortunate, to have two of the most loving parents that anybody could ever have. And my mom passed away about 12 years ago in November, and she was my biggest fan. And I know she's here today. She's sitting right there, and I know she's as proud as can be. She was one of those moms that no matter where you went, she had carried one of my little football cards, and I'd see her, and she'd be handing out football cards left and right, and I would be upset at the time, but boy, now what I would do to have her be out here passing out football cards and me signing those, it would be something else. But my dad, sitting over here, and there's not many words that you can say about your parents. They're the reason why we're here. They're your mentors, your role models. You want to be like your mom and dad, or like your dad, in my case. And he was a coach at a public school in Indianapolis, and took me everywhere. He's the one that started believing in me. I always remember sitting on, he was a basketball coach and a baseball coach, sitting on the bench with him, and just wanted to be like him, wanted to be like my dad. And he taught me the passion, the love for football, the sports, competition, and I just want to say thank you, Dad, for all that you've done for me. I really don't want to, again, backtrack a little. When Bob Asmussen asked me what I want to talk in my speech, and I don't want to celebrate me. I want to take this opportunity to celebrate the people that are important in my life. And, like I said, my family and my Illinois family. And we're all together. We all love each other. And I'm so proud of everybody here. My brothers who are here tonight, Dave and Randy, they laugh all the time saying that they didn't have the ability that I had. But they were pretty good. And they're the reasons why I'm standing here today. I owe it all to my older brothers. I didn't have a lot of friends. They always took me, and I hung around. They're 4 or 5 years older than me, and they were my best friends. I hung around their friends, and they taught me everything I needed to know. So, thank you, Brother Randy, Brother Dave. I love you so much. My kids, we're all proud of our kids. My oldest son, Jeffrey, here tonight, who was a quarterback here at Illinois a few years ago, and one of the greatest gifts that I ever had was on Father's Day. They played Michigan State, and I remember taking pictures with him before the game, and what a proud moment for me to be with my son, be on the same field that I played on, and see him have success that day, and come back and brought his team back and beat Michigan State. So that was one of the best Father's Day gifts I'd ever had. So thank you, Jeffrey. To my beautiful daughter right here, Jordan. She went to the University of Georgia. I tried to get her to come here, but she said, Dad, I want to go south. So, but she did pretty good. Georgia's a pretty good football team, I guess. But anybody out there that has a daughter, she's a daddy's girl. That's I look at her and I see me in her. You know, a lot of people say that you look at your boys and, you know, those are your clones, and they are my clones, but I look at my daughter and she's my clone. So, so proud of her. And when people say, when dads say that you're a daddy's girl, she is. She's a daddy's girl, and I tease her all the time that, you know, she's done well. I don't think she's ever gotten a B in her life in class and in school, and I tell her all the time that, you know, you're going to have to grow up and take care of Dad, but the most important thing you have to do, and I always look and I go, what's the most important thing you have to do to take care of Dad? And she says, you know, with no hesitation, she says, I need to control the money. So, baby girl, control the money. You know. Then I have the third son, Jaden George, who, or Jaden George, I don't know why I said that, but Jaden is he's at the University of Miami. He's playing football, so he wish he was here, but you know, he's there doing better things. But just fortunate to have three wonderful kids, blessed, and very thankful. A lot of uncles and cousins and aunts and grandparents that followed me. And there's two cousins that are here tonight that mean the world to me as well. They're like extended family, or they're my extended brothers. They're like my two younger brothers. And one's Matt George, who put on an incredible event last night, brought back a lot of teammates, a lot of coaches, and just friends. And he's been with me from day one, and he's traveled with me everywhere. And any foundations that we've put together, he's always been in charge of those. So he knows what he means to me. I love you, Matt, and thank you for all you've done for me as well. His brother, Andy, who's a little bit younger, and great story about Andy is while I was here in Illinois, Matt was a roommate of mine, and Andy was maybe 7th grade, I think. I don't know how old you were, but I would always call him. You know, I was 21 years old, writing papers, and I knew Andy was so smart. And if I couldn't get the proper tutor to help us out, I thought, man, who can I call to help me on this paper? And I thought, well, I'm going to call my little 7th grade cousin, Andy. And I think he's probably the only kid that helped me write some papers at the university here at Illinois. But you know, we either got a B or an A, so it was. Thank you for that, Andy. I appreciate it. But again, you know, there's so many things that come to mind when you're in this position. A lot of people you want to thank. A lot of people in the administration. A lot of coaches. I came here when Mike White was here. He brought me here, and things didn't go well for him. I wish I could have played for him with a few years, but it didn't work out. I was a redshirt that year, and not a lot of people know this, but I was a walk-on. You know, I'm not sure if there's many walk-ons that are fortunate enough to make the Hall of Fame, but I'm proud of that. But I came here because of one reason. It was Mike White and the bond that I felt for the U of I when I was here. It was just family. It just meant the world to me. But luckily, Mr. Guenther was my AD, and they ended up bringing one of the best coaches that I've ever played for in John Makovic. And so fortunate that that I played for him for 2-3 years, and we had some success. But all my success is all because of John Makovic, and he was probably the best coach I ever played for. So thank you to him. Thank you to a lot of guys, a lot of people, anybody that's played football, basketball, track, softball. There's always so many people behind the scenes that you want to thank. And had the best trainer in the world, Al Martindale. I don't know if he's here, but a lot of these guys were here last night, and was able to talk to them and thank them and let them know how much I appreciated what they've done for me. Andy Dixon, who is a longtime equipment manager, who was just an extended family. Anything you needed, whether you were sick, whatever, Al Martindale, Andy Dixon, they always invited you over their house, took care of you, and just treated you like family. So I really appreciate Andy. And of course, Kent Brown, who's here tonight, all the help that he's done for me throughout the years with the media and him and Mike Pearson, who, I don't know if Mike, I saw him last night, and he was instrumental in helping me and anything that I needed. Those guys were both there. But, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say, and I know everybody wants to get out of here and everybody's tired, but I guess what I'm trying to say, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to so many people, not just my family, my loved ones, but thank you to the Illinois family for allowing me to come here and live my dreams for 3 years and be somewhat successful and just show us, all of us here, all the love that that we all cherish. So thank you to Josh. Thank you to, again, all the committee. Congratulations to everybody here. What an honor. Like I said, so grateful and thankful for everybody. And, you know, the memories that were created here are definitely going to last a lifetime. So some of the greatest fans that ever played. I can't wait to see when we get this football team back on track and, you know, get to winning again, which we are winning, but get back to some bowl games, sell out the place, play in front of, you know, 70,000 again. That's what it's all about, and we'll get there. It's just a matter of time. So some of the greatest fans. I want to thank Illini Nation for always following me. I received so many so much fan mail and people that just said, "Hey, we watched you play, and you know, my son's, you know, wearing number 11 because of you." And just what an honor, and I just really appreciate that, and I feel that. And again, thank you so much, and enjoy the night. It's over, but just everybody be safe going home. And for one more time, they said it earlier today, but I just want to end on one thing. ILL. Thank you.